Scrapping in my own private Idaho. Thanks for stopping by today for as I continue on to do Christy's Beautiful Life. It is day number 19 and this sketch is by Sandra Lee, and this is the sketch. You can see that it has actually this is what it looks like underneath the circle. You can see the circle. I've added this as a companion page. But I'll talk a little bit about that, and then hers looks like this. So if you took the circle off, this is what it would look like. And so I am doing a 2-page layout, so I'm going to do the left side now, but this is what it looks like underneath, and I'll talk about what I'm using today. So thank you, Sandra Lee, for this beautiful sketch. It is definitely one that is will be used over and over again. Okay, so this is what we have going. So today I am using some older paper, and I'm actually using a wreath kit, both of them from Stampin' Up. I am a Stampin' Up person, so that's what I'm doing. So in February there was a last chance sale, and Stampin' Up sold this wreath kit. I believe it was around, I can't remember, $5 to $8. And so this was the wreath kit. So I liked the flowers, so I decided I would buy the kit. So when you buy these kits, it has all the directions, of course. I did not follow any of them because I made a scrapbook page out of it. But you can see how it gives you step-by-step instructions. And so I made the flowers. I did change them up a little bit. You can see they made this type of flower, and I put mine on because I was trying to match this paper. So the paper that I'm using is older paper, and it is from a Stampin' Up! Pack. I'm not for sure when it was purchased. It is called Tropical Oasis Designer Series paper, and it has 12 sheets in it, and I'm basically using, this is the front, and this is the back. And so, but this comes in all kinds of fun paper. And anytime I see tropical paper, I buy it because my kids go to Hawaii quite often. So let's go ahead and get this started. So what we're going to make first is we're going to make this white bordered piece. So these are, my strips are, so I made 4 inches. I cut 4 inches, and then my pictures are going to be 3 by 3. And then the strip across here is 2 by 10. This strip is 2 by, I'm sorry, yes, 2 by 10. And this strip is 4 by 2. 4 by 2. So I because I got all of these cuts out of one, these two are the same paper, and I got all those out of one paper page. So I was happy because that's my favorite. And of course, this picture is my inspiration because look how close that matches. So let's go ahead and recreate this. So I have cut my 10 1/4, and I'm going to need my ruler because you all know I have problems being a little bit straight, and I'm going to put it right in the middle so I can lap mine over. My Versamats, I need to put them in the sun and have them with something hard so they'll kind of melt back to being straight again. So how I'm starting this one off is I'm taking my 4-inch and I'm putting it, it's a 1/4 inch in. And so funny story, so today is my swim day, so because I'm old, they let me go to the Y for I have the Advantage plan, and so you get a gym membership. And so 2 of my friends, we go and we do water aerobics, and then we come back and scrapbook. And so I had in my mind what I was going to do with this. So originally I was going to make this be with pictures. I was going to have this be 4 by 4 pictures and put my circle in the middle, and then I was going to have 2 other pictures, and I thought, oh, what a great way for me to use up all these pictures. But it just didn't look right. You know how sometimes you have a plan and it doesn't. Well, then I had a heck of a time coming up with the colors, because anytime you're dealing with the tropical themed papers, and I'm going to have to cut this one down to 10, they're busy. And so it can be, and when you get a lot of, I don't do a lot of prints. A lot of my style is kind of like a lot of cardstock, very little pattern paper. So having a tropical print is a stretch for me. So that's why I love this sketch, because it is all about printed paper. So this is going to kind of hold my place, because I put everything how I want it, because if I don't, then I have sadness at some point. So this is 10 by 2, and then my 4 by 4 picture frame. Well, these aren't picture frames. We're actually going to set a circle on it. And then as I go along, I will show you what I used from the kit. And I extended this kit because I needed more of these. So I traced these, and I'll show you how I did that. So, okay, so that's this, and then I need a 2 by 4 and a 2 by 4. And I'm doing that so I could have, and actually, I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to put this, I think I'm going to put this. If this works, I'm going to, that way I won't have to hack into another piece of paper. So this is 2 inches, and I think that circle's going to cover it up. We'll just put it here, and then if it isn't, I'm more than happy to cut another piece of paper, but I'm hoping that my circle will cover that. So, as I said, I used a wreath kit, and in the wreath kit they had, let me see if I can show you a picture, because they had this item. It was a little bit too thick, so I just used it to trace around. So the first thing I used from this kit was I traced around this. I use this wood grain paper, and see, I'm going to be perfect. See, I can that way I did this whole thing, and oops, I did this whole thing with one piece of paper. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down now, because this is creating the same thing that I have right here. Okay. So, here we go. And if I were brave, I would just wing it. But I'm not feeling particularly brave today. So, my friend came over after swimming, and I could not get my colors to match. I cut paper, and I did all the things, and I just could not get it to be a combination, because like I said, when you get with Hawaiian paper, or the tropical type stuff that you would use on these wonderful vacations, it's a little bright. And so anyway, so what I wound up with was, because I do, just my personal preference is, see, this is fun paper on the back too. My personal preference is kind of a monochromatic one, theme, and not so much. So I wanted to calm it. My point is, I wanted to calm it down a little bit. I'm gonna have to fuss you a little bit with this so that it will all line up, and it might not be perfectly even, but we have several layers on here, and maybe no one will notice. That is the goal. So when you look at her sketch, she has, it sits on paper. So I tried pink, and I tried a polka dot, and I tried all these different things. So, but then I remembered from a lot of the videos I watch, they always say if you are working with a busy fabric, that's okay too, because I used to do fabric before I did, before I scrapbooked. If you're having problems with that, you can use like white or black. And so the white really calmed it down, and then it had, and there is white in there. There's white in the flowers, so I think white was a great choice. All right, and then I'm going to put a little bit right here. And I'll trim this off and make it even. Probably not while I'm on camera because I make horrible mistakes when I'm on camera. So what I'll do is I will just trim a little bit there. Well, I might be feeling brave. So I'm going to put this right here. So the colors I used was white, olive. I gotta make sure my palm trees are up. And my friend Antonia told me there's a direction to these flowers, and hopefully I've done that correct. And then I'm gonna put this. Oops, I forgot this right here. Gotta put this little guy in here. And then we're gonna put our circle on. So this circle is actually, there was an older paper pack of Just Woods, and it is called, you might have it in your stash. If you don't have this one, close to my heart, also had a paper pack with wood grains, and you might look in Country Wood might have some things, but I got it from this pack, and this pack is called In Good Taste, the Designer Series paper. I know some of you have bought Stampin' Up! Paper for a long time. I'm kind of new to it. And I was just lucky to find all this really good older stuff. So I'm putting this in, and that's going to bug me, so I am going to trim that a little bit. So, and you could ink around this if you want to. And then I'm just going to put that on here. And I'm going to trim this while I think about it. And okay, so I'm going to put this as my circle. So my circle is 9.5 inches. So and I just traced around it. So if you don't have a Cricut, you could trace around this. If you happen to have this wreath kit and you want to use it and you happen to have this paper, that would be a good thing. I am just trimming ever so slightly because when I moved things around, it just didn't come out quite the way. Well, I'm really worried about it. That's okay. Be brave, Joy. Okay. Did I do it? Oh, no. Well, I'm going to do this off camera because I don't want to take up time, and I certainly don't want to mess it up. But it's yeah. Actually, I'm going to just getting used to. I've always used scissors. Oh, crumb. You know what? I'm going to stop while I'm ahead because I can see that's on there. Yeah. I will fix this later. It's going to go on the green, and it's a 10 by 10, and that's going to really bug me, but I'm just going to not obsess. Okay, so then I'm going to put I back these in, these are backed in garden green, and I'm going to put them at an angle. I have another garden green picture somewhere around here. Yes, no, maybe so. I have way too much stuff. Oh, here it is. My featured picture. Okay, so I'm going to put those at an angle. I did this in Design Space, and I actually layered it twice. So I cut the Aloha out this is Petal Pink and Garden Green. And you can see, so this is what two-tone paper. This is why scrapbookers love two-tone paper, is because this is a Cricut cut, and my see my overlay there is it's just a shade lighter, and it's perfect. So when you're cutting out things and you need a little bit of variation to show that the leaves are and you could actually curl these up if you wanted to, then I use the darker side for the leaves and I use the lighter side for the overlay, and it's going to be pop dotted, and it's going to go right up here. This is so this is from the original kit. So here it is. And I needed more for this down here because on her layout, if you look on it, on her layout, she has, well, she doesn't have it, but I added it. I have flowers down here, so instead of having the flowers, I'm going to move this up a little bit more. My picture's going to move up a little bit. I'm going to pop dot that like that. And then I just added, this is going to go over here on this page. but I traced it, and I'll show you how I traced it. So when you get the kits, you pop them all out. See, you pop them all out, and I just traced around it, and I made these leaves, so I would have more leaves for my, because I didn't have enough. So this is from the wreath, and so I'm just adding the flowers. So this one is like this. She has one on the side, but my pictures are a little bit bigger, so I'm not going to do that. And I have the aloha up at the top, and so I think I had it this way. This is going to go this way. This is going to go off to the side like this. And then that is my completed layout. So I'm going to trim this. It's going to be half that, but I'm going to do it off. I'm going to do it by scissors. And if I don't like it, then I'm going to pull it off again. So anyway, so this is, I did make this a 2-page layout. So if you wanted to forego, and actually you can't even see my circle. I put my circle on there, but you can't see it. I need an actual bigger circle because I did use bigger pictures. And I could trim these down to 3x4s, and I might do that so that you can see the design a little bit better, but I don't know. I could, yeah, see, because you can't really see my circle. I could have my pictures in a little bit more like this. I could make them 3x4. So if I'm going with the sketch, so this could be more like the sketch. So this is going to go like this. If I wanted it to be more like the sketch, I could put it like this. And yeah. So my aloha's up at the top. So yeah, I'm going to trim these down. So when you see the finished layout, just know that these have been trimmed down to 3x4, and I am going to, so what do you think? I've got the aloha up here, which kind of takes the place of this one, and I have these off here, so that gives me a visual triangle. I almost want to move this one, I think I want to move this one over here like this, because that goes with that, and I think I want to do it over like here like this. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, so this is my layout for the day, and that gets me up to date. And tomorrow I am babysitting, so I don't know if I will get to day 20. I might start falling behind from now on. But anyway, so Antonia, this is what I came up with. This is the color scheme that I had. I went with the white. And anyway, so I'm happy how it turned out, and I do, you can see why you would go with the smaller smaller title. And oh, I was kind of monkeying around with it, but I didn't find one. You can also trace the flowers. I sponged these a little bit. It obviously needs to have things in the middle, but you can add your own flowers to it as well. So anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you will like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you will follow along with Christy's Beautiful Life and get some inspiration. And I know I did, because I don't often work with a lot of pattern paper, so this was a lot of fun for me. So thank you, Sandra, for your sketch. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.